Hello students, welcome to ACE Engineering Academy powered by ACE Online. Myself Ramesh Masuna, the instructor in ACE Academy teaching database management systems. Today we are going to discuss how to prepare for the GATE examination for the subject database management system. So we will focus here on exclusively on database management system, what are the topics are there, from where questions are going to be asked, and where to focus, and what are the expected topics that we are going to discuss in this session. Yeah. Very first, I would like to start with the contents of the syllabus. Here we have relational model and ER models. ER and relational model is the first topic. When we see the contents, like when we see the previous year questions, how many questions that were asked in the previous year, I have analyzed questions from 2000 onwards, GATE 2000 onwards, till to the 2022. From ER and relational models, there are totally 15 questions asked in the CSE paper, and in IT paper, there are 2 questions. Actually, IT paper is there from GATE 2004 to 2008, so that 5 years, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These 5 years, CSE separate paper, IT separate paper. In CSE paper, we have 15 questions, and IT paper 2 questions. And next, when I'm talking about functional dependencies and normalization, there were 28 questions. And 7 questions in IT paper. Means almost every year a minimum 1 question is coming from the chapter of functional dependency normalization. Minimum 1 question, and most of the times it is 2 marks question, some of the times it is 1 mark question, but a question is guaranteed from functional dependency and normalization. And relational algebra and calculus is equally important. Actually, this is a small topic when compared with other topics. This relational algebra and calculus is a small topic from where in CSE paper, there are 27 questions and 5 questions in the IT paper. Here also, you can expect a minimum 1 question from algebra and calculus topic. And comparatively, calculus, algebra is more important. So most of the questions are exclusively from algebra chapter. So focus on more on algebra chapter because it is equally important like functional dependency and normalization. And undoubtedly, there is very important topic that is structured query languages. Majority of the questions so far asked in SQL. And sometimes questions may not asked on ER and relational models. Sometimes questions may not be asked on functional dependency and normalization. Sometimes questions may not be asked on algebra and calculus. But every year, minimum 1 question asked from these structured query languages. Most of the times it is 2 marks questions, and some of the times it is 1 plus 2, means minimum 2 to 3 marks you can expect from the SQL. But majority of the students feel difficulty in SQL, but the students where they feel difficulty, majority people are feeling difficulty, that questions you should not give up. You should try and you should solve in a correct way. So that makes a difference between the crowd. So you should be 1 out of the crowd. So that 1 out of the crowd will be the ranker. Okay. So focus more on SQL because majority of the students, they will skip, and those who attempt also, they will do mistakes in the SQL questions. But what I am recommending you is be strong in this chapter so that if any question comes, you should be in a position to answer it correctly. So that makes a difference between you and other students. And next is transactions and concurrency control. There are 23 questions in CSE paper and 4 questions in IT paper. In recovery system, there are totally 3 questions in CSE paper. In IT paper, there are 0 questions. Only 3 questions asked on recovery system, that 2 on log-based recovery approaches. That is very simple. 1 question asked even in GATE 2022 also in recovery system. And one more chapter is called indexing. Indexing is also equally important when compared with other chapters. And there are 21 questions so far, mostly on finding the order of B tree and B plus tree. That kind of questions are asked. And 4 questions on IT paper. So these are the contents of your syllabus, and this is a weightage analysis. So all the topics are equally important. Don't ignore it. And from this subject, you will be get an average of 8 marks. 8 marks is not minimum, 8 is more marks. On average, you are going to get 8 marks. Majority of the times, they are giving DBMS questions for 8 marks, and highestly it is given in GATE 2012 for 12 marks, right? And minimum 6 marks is given, not less than 6 marks. So far, no GATE paper is there. So on average, you can say 8 marks is guaranteed from this subject. Now look at. So just I wanted to continue my session with just a simple motivational statement. So this is a right time because it is in October 2022. Now GATE examination is very near to you, like November, December, January, February. So hardly 4 months, not 4 months also, like October is almost over, November, December, January, hardly 3 months only. So in these 3 months, you give your best, then only you take a rest. If you give your best, automatically you are going to get a good rank. So don't relax. What I'm trying to tell you is don't relax. What extent possible for you to give your best, give it. Automatically results will come. But if you start giving up, give up, then there is no use. So that's what I'm telling you. Give your best, then take a rest. No best, no rest. Chalo, we'll start with each chapter, where to focus and what are the important concepts, what are the expected topics. Let us start with ER and relational models. And majority of the times, questions are asked on relational models on a basics, like some theoretical questions. Some theoretical questions on relational models. And also, questions were asked on key concepts, especially on primary key, candidate key, and super key, and importantly on foreign key constraints. So something nearly 4 to 5 questions you can see in the previous year GATE examination on foreign key constraints. So focus on foreign key constraints. And questions were asked on conversion of ER to relational model. Questions are asked on ER to relational model conversion. So something around 6 to 7 questions you can see in the previous GATE. And conversion is very easy if you know the approach. Like there are set of rules are there, set of strategies are there. By using that, you can easily convert ER model to relational model. Its questions are how many number of tables possible in the relational model if you convert ER model to relational model. That kind of questions are asked. ER to relational model. Right? Most of the questions. So this is where questions are asked from the ER and relational model. Simple basics question, theoretical questions, and questions based on keys concepts, and questions on ER to relational models. Now what is expected? The expected is not any question on a new topic. The expected is the way of asking question may be different. The way of asking question may be different. Means same thing they may ask you, but slightly in a different way. Means if any question comes in that different way, if you are confident enough with the topic, then even they ask questions with a twist also you can able to answer it. So this is only expected because all are known topics only. From every topic, questions already have come in ER and relational models. You may expect some twisted questions. That's it. And coming to the next chapter, functional dependencies and normalization. And this is important chapter. And questions were asked on verification of functional dependency, FD verification. This is one question. Means you will be given a relation, means a table is given and set of dependencies are given and asked you to find which dependency is satisfying, which dependency is not satisfying. That kind of questions are asked. This is one. And next, questions on additional dependencies. additional functional dependencies. It means a relation is given and dependencies are given, and options are which of the following dependencies are satisfied or not satisfied. That is, we can find based on the closures. Okay, additional dependencies. And next, we have questions on closure, attribute closure. So means some set of attributes are be given, let us say x, and they are asking the closure of x, like which of the following is the correct closure or something like this. Closure. And next topic, questions on minimal set. Questions on minimal set. They will be given some set of dependencies and ask you to find which of the functional dependencies are the minimal set of the given set. That is a minimal set of functional dependencies. And fifth one is most important, ask good questions on keys, like variety number of questions are asked and many questions are asked. Like a relation with dependencies are given and asked to find which of the following is a candidate key of the relation. And how many candidate keys of a relation, like which of the following is a key and how many candidate keys, which of the following is a candidate key but not super key, that kind of questions were asked. And candidate key, in short, it is also called key. Suppose in the paper if they ask which of the following is a key, the key in the sense it is a candidate key, because candidate key is also called key in symbol terms. Okay, and questions are asked on super keys. Right, these are the questions possible. How many candidate keys, how many super keys questions were asked in the previous gate, many number of times. So this undoubtedly it is very important. And the sixth topic is decomposition properties. Questions on decomposition properties. What are the decomposition properties? Lossy decomposition, lossless decomposition. And dependency preserving decomposition, not dependency preserving decomposition, means questions on decomposition properties. And in this decomposition properties also, questions were asked on lossless join decomposition. So far, whatever the questions are asked, those are on lossless join. And only one time question asked on dependency preservation. Okay, only one time question on dependency preservation. And the next is finding the normal forms of the relation. You may be given some relation and asked to find what is the normal form of the relation. Finding normal form of the relation. Now coming to expected topic. What is expected from functional dependencies and normalization? What is expected? The expected topics are equivalence of functional dependencies. So far no question is given on equivalence. You may expect a question on equivalence of functional dependencies. Means you may be given 1, 2 or 3 sets of dependencies and asked to find which dependency sets are equal or not equal. That kind of questions you can expect. This is one question expected. And one more is so far exclusively on dependency preserving decomposition, DP, dependency preserving decomposition. No questions are asked, but you can expect a questions. And when you see the previous 5 years of papers, like when you see 21, 20, 19, 18 and 17 papers, they have asked some different way of asking questions on normal forms. Means concept is not completely different. Concept is same, but the way of asking questions is different. Different way of asking questions. Different way of normal form questions. Questions on normal form, but asked differently. Like previously, when you see 2015 and earlier papers, the questions are simple. Like relation is given, dependencies are given, and question is asked about normal form. What is the normal form of the relation? Options are like 1NF, 2NF, 3NF, BCNF, or else it is 1NF but not 2NF, or 2NF but not 3NF. That kind of questions were there. But when you see the 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 papers, the way of asking questions is slightly different. Like they have given in 17 one paper, in 17 there are 2 sets of paper. In one set of paper it is given. Like they have given some relation with the dependencies and given decomposed relations. and ask it what is the normal form satisfied by the decomposed relations. That is, what is the weakest normal form satisfied by the decomposed relations, which is violated by the original relation. Means way of asking is different. Means we need to find what is a normal form of original relation, what is a normal form after decomposition, and original relation is not satisfying which normal form, and the decomposed relation is satisfying which weakest normal form. That kind of questions. Means the trend is slightly changed. Means the trend has come, like a new trend has come of asking questions in a different way, not in the regular way. Because so many questions have already come on the regular way, so that you can expect some different way of asking questions. And these are the important concepts in functional dependencies and normalization. Those are the regular way of asking questions on those topics, and expected topics are this. Now coming into algebra and calculus. Undoubtedly it is very, very important, and most of the times questions are on concept based. If you are clear with the concept, questions you can able to solve very easily. Questions on concept based. And one more thing, the questions on join operations, like they are giving two relations with some relationship, like parent and child relationship, with some set of tuples are mentioned. How many tuples, how many minimum number of tuples, how many maximum number of tuples possible in the result of join. That questions were asked, join. And questions on queries, like they are giving one query, like relational algebra query, and ask you to find the output of the query. Ask you to find the number of tuples in the output of the query. Right. Output, what is output? Are number of tuples in the output of the query. And there are so many questions have come in the relational algebra by giving a query and asking to find the output. I have seen personally majority of the students are facing problem in solving the relational algebra questions, but you focus in that topic so that majority of the students may not answer it. Where you are able to answer it correctly, that makes a difference. So please focus more on relational algebra, and exclusively if a query is given, how to find the output of the query. Means analyze it in a proper way. Because algebra mainly focuses on the process. If you know the process, solving the query is very, very easy. Right. And coming to the calculus, in the calculus also very few questions were asked, but asked. There also they have given a query and asked you to find the output, and it is in the calculus I am talking about, and number of tuples. This kind of questions were asked. And one important thing is, so far 3 questions are asked on safe and unsafe queries. Like which of the following queries are safe and which of the following queries are unsafe. Like they are given some set of relational calculus queries, like TRC queries or DRC queries, and ask you to find which of the following queries are safe queries or which of the following queries are unsafe queries. Almost like exactly 3 questions asked so far on safe and unsafe queries. Okay, that too in the recent years, not in the previous years. In the 2 old years, in the recent years, they have asked questions on this. These are the places where questions were asked on algebra, and almost all concepts are touched in algebra and calculus. And you may not expect any new question completely from new topic, but the same thing what I want to tell you is you may be given some tricky question, some different schema with different queries, and maybe combination of algebra and calculus both, or else in the calculus again TRC and DRC. That combinations may be possible. Means which of the following queries are satisfying, are retrieving so and so, something like some query is given, and your options are algebra and TRC query, DRC query, and all of the above, none of the above. Such kind of options are possible. That is one way of asking questions. And undoubtedly SQL is very, very important, and some of the questions in the previous gate asked on the basics, like and the basic SQL concepts, like select, from, where, like in operations, between and like operators, some basic theoretical questions. And especially queries are given starting from the group by and having classes. questions exclusively on group by and having classes. From here the questions were asked. And questions are possible to be asked from the join operator, means on join. And in the join again, natural join is more important. Most of the questions are on natural join and also outer join questions. Natural join and outer join. And outer join questions, first it is given in 2015. Earlier 2015 no questions were asked from outer join, but that is also covered from 2015 onwards, outer join questions. And more importantly, questions on nested queries and questions on correlated subqueries, nested and correlated subqueries. And you find the difference between when a query given is nested, when a query is given correlated. Accordingly, you have to perform the evaluation so that you can able to answer the questions. And some concepts based on with class, newly it is asked on 2018. After 2018, no question asked, but only once it is asked on with class, but you may expect a question. For the interview purpose, with class is very important. Suppose you are not know the concept of with, so please get to know the concept of with, so that will be helpful for you. With class. And only one question asked on one IT paper in the previous gate on unique class. It is also important. Okay. These are the places from where questions were asked on the SQL. And coming to the expected, because a lot of the things are there to learn from the SQL, but only they can twist you by giving the complex questions. That's it. So, but to solve that complex questions, you have to practice more. Only one thing, practice. If more you practice, the better confidence you will gain. If you gain the better confidence, you can solve it in a correct way, easily. Coming to the transaction management and concurrency control. Questions were asked on theory. So especially theoretical questions, most of the theoretical questions from DBMS are from the topic of transaction management and concurrency control. Theoretical questions based on asset properties, what is transaction, asset properties, on concurrency, some theoretical questions are asked. Most of the theory questions on transactions management and concurrency control. On theoretical questions on concurrency control, 2PL protocols, strict 2PL protocols, and timestamp based protocols. Questions were asked, theoretical questions. And questions on recoverability, especially. Questions on recoverability. And when I'm talking about expected, no question asked on cascading rollbacks and cascadeless schedules. So you may expect a question on cascading rollbacks. You may expect questions on cascading rollbacks because so far no questions are asked on cascading rollbacks. And questions on strict schedules. Questions are asked on recoverability. And questions are asked on conflict serializability. And actually serializability to test, we have two concepts or two methods we call conflict serializability and view serializability. Majority of the questions from this topic, entire topic, majority of the questions asked on conflict serializability. But so far no question asked on view serializability. This time you can expect a question on view serializability. The way the questions were asked on conflict serializability, similar way the questions are possible to be asked on view serializability. And very few questions are asked on concurrency control protocols, the two-phase protocols. In 2PL, questions are asked, very few, hardly 2 to 3 questions on strict and rigorous 2PL. But majority of the questions are not asked. And one question asked on deadlock detection and prevention, deadlock prevention, not detection also. Only one question asked, that too theoretical question. You can expect some problematic questions on deadlock detection and prevention, right? Detection, no question asked. In deadlock prevention, questions are possible to be asked, some problematic questions on prevention, deadlock prevention, right? Next possibility, because on concurrency control protocol this only, theory questions are asked, theory questions are asked on timestamp based protocols. This is only theory questions, timestamp based protocol theory questions. You can expect problems on timestamp ordering protocol, and its variant is called Thomas Wright rule. You can expect problems on these. So the kind of problems possible to be asked that we have discussed in our online sessions, live sessions and pre-recorded videos, please focus on it. And no question asked on multiple granularity. This is also one of the important topic from where questions are possible to be asked. See, here, especially when you see the transaction management and concurrency control, very few topics are covered in the previous gate. There are so many topics are there which from where questions were not asked. So definitely this is going to play an important role. I expect this is going to play an important role in GATE 2023. Why? Because in GATE 2023, like when you see 22 and 21, most of the untapped area questions are increasing. Like when you see 21 to 22, number of untapped area questions are more. Definitely this time I am expecting from 22 to 23, more untapped area questions are possible. More untapped area questions means here there is a lot of scope is there from these chapters. Please focus on it. Okay. That's about the transactions and concurrency control. Coming to the recovery system, so far only 3 questions are asked. 3 questions. And in that too, one theory question, just on basic theory question, which is also in GATE 2021 in theory questions. And only 2 problematic questions are given, 2 problems. And the 2 problems are also on log-based recovery, log-based recovery techniques, log-based recovery techniques. And you can expect questions on checkpointing also. What is checkpointing and how checkpointing recovery process is going to recover from the failures. That's it, failure due to system crashes, how recovery is going to be performed. These are the topic from where questions are asked, and only 3 questions in the past 22 years. Only 3 questions, one in 2005, I do remember, one in 2015 and one in 2021. So means very rarely asking, but if you are already studied this topic, then please brush up one more time before the examination. Suppose you haven't studied this topic, I don't recommend you to study newly at this time. At this time means this is an October month. At this time, I don't recommend you to study newly. If you haven't studied, don't study once again, just ignore it. But if you have already studied, just brush up the things one more time, so that if a question comes, you can solve it easily. Because we have discussed in the live sessions, physical classes and pre-recorded lectures, these topics and kind of questions that we have discussed. And you people, suppose you are an ACE Academy students, you have to brush up the things and be ready if any question comes, and you can able to solve it. And lastly, coming to the indexing chapter, undoubtedly from the indexing chapter, questions were asked on multi-level index, and undoubtedly it is important that order finding, order of B tree, right, order of B plus tree. So majority of the questions are on orders, and minority of questions on multi-level indexing, And one question, hardly one question or 2 questions on the insertion of key values and deletion, insertion and deletion of key values from the B plus tree. Hardly 1 or 2 questions, that's it. So again, in indexing, there is a expected topics are possible, like because only one question asked on B tree order, you can expect this time again a question on B tree order. And no questions asked, like in 2007, that too in IT paper, question is asked on insertion and deletion on B plus tree. You can expect questions on insertions and deletions. And we have discussed a variety of questions in the classrooms and in the live and pre-recorded lectures. And please focus on those topics from where questions are possible. Okay, these are the important concepts, like these are the concepts in the database management system, and from where questions were asked, we have discussed. From where questions are possible to be asked, that also we have discussed, right? Because average 8 marks are coming from the DBMS, and don't ignore it because 8 marks is more. Okay, just after listening to this, you may be thinking, sir, is it possible to crack the gate in this time, like in GATE 2023? Just I wanted to say you one thing. If you believe in yourself, anything can be possible. If you believe in yourself, means if you believe that you can able to crack the GATE examination this year itself, then you will definitely struggle hard and you can able to succeed it. So you believe yourself first thing, then definitely it is possible, right? And see, only one thing, maybe you may be thinking that is it possible to crack in the first attempt? Yes, absolutely possible. Only thing is you need to have a strong belief. This is you. And we are going to give you the right strategy because ACE Academy giving always to the students their best in a right strategy they are giving. This is V is nothing but ACE Academy. And U plus V, we are going to give you the plan of action, means you put our strategy in a plan of action so that you are going to get a success, definitely. Fine. And how to prepare for the GATE examination? What approach you can follow? Like what I suggest you is start with the faculty notes, because our notes will have the concepts and everything. Then go for note down the important formulas and short notes. Prepare short notes. That is very, very important. Short notes you can revise it in a frequent interval so that always the subjects will ringing in your mind. And then practice all the formulas and short note points, if any, at least for 5 times. And then questions from the faculty notes, practice it, all the questions, because we gave questions that were asked in the previous GATE and expected type of questions also we have discussed, so that practice all the questions from the faculty notes. And very importantly, solve the previous year GATE questions, because 90% of the paper is going to be covered from the previous questions only, because not the same questions, but that kind of questions, means questions on such concepts are covered. So that solving PYQs is very, very important. And revise the notes, and then finally go with the subject-wise test series and go with full-length test series. And this is a strategy I suggest you follow this order so that any question that comes in the coming GATE examination, you can able to solve it. And cracking the GATE examination is easy because, as you know, that there are only 25 marks is needed in GATE 2022. When you see cutoffs, 25 marks is sufficient to qualify the GATE examination. If you qualify the GATE examination, you can get all the benefits. Those who qualified the GATE examination, whatever the benefits are there for the qualified students, and you are able to get same benefits. And if you are OBC, 22.5 is a cutoff marks. If you are SC, ST, physically handicapped, it is 16.6. And Air 1 got 81 marks this year. Air 1 got 81 marks. Means you can understand what is a toughness, like what is a worth of the paper. So don't take it much lightly. So be serious. So cracking the GATE examination is easy. And finally, just I want to talk with 1 minute about the ACE Academy. ACE Academy providing the pre-recorded classes. So with that class also you can able to crack it. And we have exclusively live classes. Suppose you have a time and want to interact with the faculty members. So I will suggest some 3 plans for the live classes: morning 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. 2 hours, or else evening 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. 2 hours, or else we have a regular batches. Like if you want to study more hours in a day, because suppose if you are completed the GATE, if you are completed your engineering and dedicatedly you are spending time for the GATE, we have that exclusive live batches also, like daily 4 to 5 hours of sessions. And one important thing this time I will tell you, those who haven't prepared so far but have some little knowledge about the subjects, little knowledge is sufficient. We have a quick revision course. So this quick revision course is we are giving for 120 days, 4 months. And this module is too good, and because I'm not saying too good from my side, from the feedback of many students, this module is too good, and this is very much useful to the students for cracking the GATE examination within a short period of time. Now, this is the right time. If you haven't registered for any courses, I recommend you to go for this course so that you can crack the GATE examination easily. Or else, as I told you, solving PYQs is important. When you see any topper interview, like suppose you haven't seen, at least now you Google it, like YouTube, in the YouTube you just check it out, just search it for any topper interview. Every topper says they have solved all PYQs. They have solved all PYQs. So if you solve all PYQs, cracking the GATE is easy. As I told you, 90% of the paper coming from the PYQs. When 90% of the paper coming from the PYQs, solving the PYQs is mandatory now. Majority of the students, they don't do this. But I recommend you please do it. And ACE Academy launched the previous year questions, GATE, and additionally they are giving ISRO package also, GATE and ISRO. And these two, and we have pre-recorded all the previous year questions in a very detailed way. Just let me give one small example. Suppose if there is a question, who killed Ravana? Who killed Ravana? If I ask you a question, what you give an answer? Rama killed Ravana, you give an answer. But what we give now? Rama killed Ravana because Ravana kidnapped Sita and Ravana is a bad guy. That's why Rama killed Ravana. This is the analysis we give. Means it is not just telling the answer. It is telling the background concept also. So that even if you don't know the background concept, by listening all the previous year questions in a detailed way, because it is a pre-recorded lectures, every question is recorded in a detailed way, so that you will learn the concept, you will learn the question, both. That too in a very nominal price. This is just to help the students. It is in a very nominal price of rupees 2000. And even if you take some code RMSH40, RMSH40, this is my code, personal code. And if you use this code, you will get a 40% discount. So 2000 rupees, 40% discount means 1200 rupees. You are going to get 200 plus hours of pre-recorded lectures, all PYQs. And all these PYQs are segregated in subject-wise. Means all subjects of GATE, subject-wise, topic-wise, subtopic-wise, segregated and recorded. So that if you are weak in some subject, you can directly go to that subject, all PYQs you can listen. Suppose in subject, in particular topic you are weak, just you can watch only that topic PYQs. So that you can clear up all your doubts very fastly. Fast and quick preparation is possible with a GATE, and that too with a very nominal price to help the students. Hope you can take the benefit of this. And ACE also have the Hindi lectures. अगर आप नॉर्थ इंडिया का स्टूडेंट्स हैं, आपको हिंदी में पढ़ना है, क्योंकि आप जल्दी समझ में, जल्दी आपको टॉपिक समझ में आए. सो इसलिए एस लॉन्च किया है गेट हिंदी कोर्सेस. आपको पॉसिबिलिटी है तो अगर लेना है तो हिंदी कोर्सेस भी ले सकते हैं, ताकि जल्दी आपको कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में आएगा, ताकि आप जल्दी प्रिपरेशन होगा आपका और अच्छा रैंक भी लाएगा. And we have one more thing from ACE Academy handbook, and this handbook consisting of short notes, formulas, important concepts, and note points. Everything are covered. This will be helpful for your quick preparation. And finally, just I wanted to say you one thing: to win the race, join the ACE. And finally, I'm going to conclude with a big thank you. Thank you one and all. And tomorrow we'll see you once again with important concepts in DBMS. So definitely you are going to enjoy the tomorrow's session, because we are going to discuss many of the important concepts, some questionnaires we are going to discuss. Thank you one and all. See you tomorrow.
My name is Gaurav Kumar. I have secured All India Rank 1 in GATE 22 in Electrical Engineering. I was enrolled in ACE Academy offline coaching. The ACE Academy really helped me develop a strong basic required for GATE exam. I was also enrolled in ACE Academy online test series. The questions in ACE Academy online test series were very good and helped me develop a strong temperament required for the exam. My tips for the future aspirants who are preparing for GATE exam will be that you should have a very clear plan and strategy, like how you have to approach the exam, and also believe in yourself and do hard work, because if you have a very good plan and clear strategy and if you will work hard, you will definitely achieve your goal. Thank you. My name is Gaurav Kumar. I have secured All India Rank 1 in GATE 22 in Electrical Engineering. I was enrolled in ACE Academy offline coaching. The ACE Academy really helped me develop a strong basic required for GATE exam. I was also enrolled in ACE Academy online test series. The questions in ACE Academy online test series were very good and helped me develop a strong temperament required for the exam. My tips for the future aspirants who are preparing for GATE exam will be that you should have a very clear plan and strategy, like how you have to approach the exam, and also believe in yourself and do hard work, because if you have a very good plan and clear strategy and if you will work hard, you will definitely achieve your goal. Thank you.